Imagine this scene with me. A team of archaeologists stands in the desert near the legendary pyramids of Giza, armed with cutting-edge ground-penetrating radar. They're scanning layers beneath a small, forgotten pyramid, expecting nothing more than solid rock. But suddenly, their equipment detects something extraordinary. A perfectly symmetrical cavity 30 feet below the ancient monument's base. The readings are unmistakable. This isn't a natural formation. Something has been hidden here, untouched for thousands of years. What happened next would shock the entire archaeological world. Within days, experts from different countries rushed to the site. Engineers worked through the night, carefully cutting through layers of limestone without damaging the unique structure. Every movement was recorded on video. Police cordoned off the area with armed patrols. Officials refused to give explanations to journalists. The atmosphere was charged with tension and anticipation. What could possibly justify such extreme security measures? Here's where the mystery deepens. When the explorers finally broke through the first limestone block, they used a miniature endoscope to peer inside the cavity. For the first time in thousands of years, human eyes glimpsed what lay beyond. The camera recorded darkness, strange surfaces gilded with gold in the distance, and something even more astonishing waiting deeper inside. The expedition carefully cleared the passage, removing limestone debris, and finally opened a secret chamber. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind. Inside this massive rectangular room, approximately 15 feet wide and 30 feet long, archaeologists found something that had no parallel among known Egyptian tombs. In the first corner stood an enormous sarcophagus made of dark green granite, covered with intricate carvings. Nearby lay vessels crafted from gold and ivory. Part of the wall displayed relief sculptures depicting a female figure wearing a crown with a cobra's head. The frozen atmosphere in that moment was palpable. Someone finally voiced the stunning hypothesis. This could be the lost tomb of Cleopatra herself. Now, discover with me what made this discovery even more extraordinary. Scattered throughout the chamber were objects clearly not typical of standard Egyptian royal tombs. Among them were fragments of Greek ceramics, elements of women's and men's toiletries, and tablets bearing inscriptions in an unknown dialect. Everything pointed to one conclusion. The drama surrounding Egypt's last queen had once played out here, and this tomb might hide far more secrets than anyone imagined. Let's uncover together what the inscriptions revealed. The entire surface of the chamber was literally covered with hieroglyphics, long columns of symbols and strange markings that stood out distinctly from the traditional Ptolemaic style. The chief archaeologist noticed something unprecedented. Egyptian hieroglyphics intertwined with Greek letters, and in some places even Hellenistic-style rock paintings. One specialist in Ptolemaic inscriptions immediately caught a phrase carved in the center of the back wall: Queen of Two Worlds, Cleopatra Philadelphus, divided by fate between East and West. But the most intriguing detail appeared on the sarcophagus lid itself. There, a scene showed a woman holding a royal scepter and double crown, extending her hand to a figure in a Greek cloak. The signature in ancient Greek read last of the Lagids. There was also an unusual symbol, an intertwined cobra and owl, never before found in any known Egyptian tomb. Scholars debated whether this was Cleopatra's personal symbol or a secret sign for initiates. What we'll discover now will amaze you. Right where the sarcophagus lay, archaeologists found a series of miniature golden incense bottles and 2 heavy seals made of lapis lazuli, bearing inscriptions with rare titles. She who gives light and finds immortality among the stars. While one team analysed the inscriptions, another expert noticed unusual marks applied with red ochre at the base of the wall, forming a semicircle with small figures of lions and lionesses, symbolising power and authority. In the centre was an Eye of Horus symbol, from which a wavy line extended to an image of a boat containing 2 clearly visible human figures, male and female. Here's something that will challenge everything you thought you knew. One of the figures held a rolled scroll with a signature in Demotic Egyptian script. Archaeologists immediately connected this scene to legends of Cleopatra's escape from the Romans and her disappearance after Alexandria's fall. Soon another key element emerged. A floor mosaic made of rare lunar obsidian brought only from Greek islands. In geometric patterns, a horn of plenty crown and an image of the Egyptian goddess Isis were clearly visible. According to legend, Cleopatra was often associated with Isis. These details confirmed that the tomb belonged not to an unknown noblewoman, but to Cleopatra herself, at least in the minds of her contemporaries. This discovery will blow your mind. A wooden tablet fragment found in a niche, covered with a wax writing layer, revealed an elegant inscription made with a fine stylus. In the 6th year of Cleopatra's reign, the battle still lies ahead, but victory will belong to light. Analysis of the wood showed the tree came from the island of Rhodes, leading researchers back to connections with the Hellenistic world. The moment everyone feared and anticipated simultaneously had arrived, entering the untouched burial itself. Every step now required maximum caution. Leading archaeologists lined up near the sarcophagus alongside security and restoration specialists. The entire procedure was recorded to capture the finest details. Masks on faces, gloves, tools made of soft wood and ivory. The main condition: do not disturb the ancient energy of the tomb. But here's the mystery that baffled archaeologists. First, they examined the sarcophagus for traps or hidden mechanisms. Portable X-ray devices illuminated the stone lid. The screen image showed a complex system of locks inside specially designed grooves to protect the contents from strangers. Everything worked with precision. Inside, they found a movable metal plate with a crescent and serpent engraving. To avoid damaging the unique lock, they called in an expert on ancient mechanisms. He gently pressed the spring with a thin bronze pin. A soft click sounded, and the lid shifted 1 inch from its position. What happened next was unprecedented in archaeological history. 4 workers using special fastening straps slowly lifted the sarcophagus lid, which weighed over 1,000 pounds. The granite barely slid, revealing a crack from which burst a stream of stagnant cold air with a distinctive scent of palm resin and embalming oils. The first layer was dense fabric, folded several times. High-quality linen with golden inserts along the edges. On the surface were pieces of turquoise malachite and copper clasps shaped like scarab beetles. Nearby they found an amulet engraved with the Greek inscription, Queen of Light. This is what we'll reveal today that will leave you speechless. Under the fabric layer appeared a wooden attachment made of cedar wood, skillfully inlaid with gold and painted with red and blue dyes. Here appeared a woman's face with a large crown and eagle-shaped earrings. Experts immediately noticed the portrait style was typical of the Hellenistic period and could only have been made by order of the queen herself. Along the edges of the attachment was carved the name, Cleopatra the Sixth. No previously found sarcophagus contained such detailed identification. Carefully lifting the wooden attachment, archaeologists finally saw the mummy wrapped in linen bandages fastened with miniature golden seals shaped like ankhs. On the chest was an enormous pectoral with an image of Isis holding an Ouroboros in her hand. Along the body were scattered pearls and golden miniatures of serpents. Particular attention was drawn to the ring on the mummy's left hand, with an inscription engraved in Greek. Cleopatra loves Alexander Erema, daughter of the sun. From a scientific standpoint, discovering a mummy in such condition was unprecedented. The fabrics were undamaged. The face partially retained its features. Even individual hair strands were preserved with resin and incense residue. Experts immediately recorded the mummy's height, slightly over 5 feet 3 inches, and an unusual tattoo on the right wrist. A zigzag line ending with a small eye, an unprecedented find among royal burials. What archaeologists discovered at the bottom of the sarcophagus would rewrite history books. The first bundle was fabric tightly wrapped with an embroidered golden bee, symbol of royal power. Beneath it lay a small box containing a papyrus scroll. The message was written in a mixture of Demotic and ancient Greek. Translation of the text read, "Let coming centuries know that Cleopatra remained faithful to the legacy of 2 worlds. Here begins a new era of light." The second bundle contained a collection of miniature vessels with residues of insoluble oils and aromatic pastes, among them rare iris flower, considered a sign of royal purity. But the puzzling question is this. In a niche of the sarcophagus itself, on the wall fixed to its surface, was a bronze disc, approximately 6 inches in diameter, engraved with an image of clasped hands, symbol of the union between Egypt and Hellenism. In the centre was a crimson stone, possibly carnelian, surrounded by a circular inscription, "Rest forever under the shadow of the pyramids." Such composition found resonance only in Hellenistic cult objects. Recent excavations have revealed something incredible that changes our entire understanding. Analysis of golden bottles showed they contained remnants of rare oils delivered from Phoenicia. According to calculations, the cost of each in ancient Egypt exceeded the cost of an entire village. Between the mummy's feet, they found a transparent plate of rock crystal engraved with the sun and 2 flying birds, symbol of the soul's ascent to eternity. Experts recorded this object as a special ritual